Nicaragua, Chile, Panama, now Venezuela, Guatemala, Libya, like none of these countries have been left better off as a result of US intervention. So like when you sit here and say we don't care about the Iranian people, don't sit here and tell me that the United States government does either. Like that's insane. My heart goes out to all oppressed people. But that means that when the US comes in for their own benefit, and like I just explained it to you, the whole speech that he gave about why he was going to be looking at Iran was because of the protester unalivings, but they're not addressing what's happening in this country. And Danny Liu, you keep sidestepping that. If you like, I could easily sit here and say you do not care about black and brown people who are being unalived in this country, about United States citizens who are being unalived in this country. When Brian brought up CCOT, he wasn't talking about the conditions of the country in El Salvador. He's talking about our country sending people who are not from El Salvador to a torture center in that country. You did not address that. You sidestepped that. So if you're wanting all of us to take you seriously in this position, then you're going to need to listen to what we're actually saying up here. You don't care about the U.S. Americans suffering. You don't care about people of color suffering. So how are you going to convince us that you actually care about Iran and that this is not a Zionist, excuse that you're giving us?
Go ahead, Daniel, if you would like to respond, then I want to go to James.
Yeah, I think in our language we say that she has a chutzpah. Okay, chutzpah, she means she's
that's protesting the streets. But let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I have footages posted on my TikTok. You guys are more welcome to look at my page. You guys are going to see T groups, ISIS, entering Iran and being weaponized. And there's also other footages of the Iranian people. I have footages as well. They were kissing the IRGC flag, and they said we lost too many martyrs during the revolution in 1979. And they said we're not going to give up our land for a Pahlavi. And this guy in this picture that I'm showing you guys right now, he's a Zionist. He's begging Israel. There's even Iranian Zionists in the West that are praising the fact that 12-day war happened, the fact that our children are getting unalived, those apartments getting boom down, and the fact that Tehranis had to evacuate their houses and move to other provinces of Iran. All of this is Mossad's work. If you look up videos on YouTube, you're going to see Israelis learning how to speak Farsi, learning how to pronounce our letters and speak Farsi songs. They're pretending to be Iranians to attack Iran. Israel's not our friend. I will never stand with Israel. And quite frankly, when I go back to Iran this summer, I'm going to ask my family themselves, what do they think about Iran right now? And I can guarantee you guys, they rather prefer Iran the way it is than to bow down to Zionism. The West, such as the United States, Europe, Canada, all over the West, they're sanctioning Iran and trying to manipulate our situation to make it look like, oh, look, everyone, the whole world's against the Iranian government, pack their bags and they got to dip. That's not how it works. That's not how it's going to work.
Let me ask you a question, Noura, because you brought up that there are some that do, it sounds like you said a small percentage of people in Iran are actually protesting. Can you talk to us a little bit about, though, that it's a small percentage of protesting, but how many, just if you can, if you know, how many people in Iran or what percentage of people in Iran support the protests and want the regime change? Do you have a feel as to how many?
I can't put a huge estimate. I don't want to give misinformation. That's what I'm going to be honest. I can't give misinformation. That's what I'm not going to do.
Yes, absolutely.
And we're all going to be honest here, right? Honesty is the key. But I'm going to tell you guys, these protesters, these people, they are burning down masjids. They burn down the shrines of Prophet Muhammad's son. That's what's going on. And I have a footage of Iranians who are the citizens of Iran. They're even complaining, saying, okay, you guys can protest. That's fine. I get it. We have economic issues. But why are you guys burning down my own house, my own businesses? And who's going to pay for his rent? And I have a footage, if you guys would like me to show you, of an Iranian woman before the blackout has happened. She lives in Iran right now with a child. And she says, you guys should go back to your homes and not fall for the Western propaganda. You guys are being illiterates for thinking that the USA and Israel is your best friend when they're not our best friend. They're not.
Okay. Thank you, Noura. Let me go to Nichelle and then we'll go to Covey.
Hey, everybody. And yes, I agree with Nora about being honest, and I'm so glad she's here to share her perspective. I came up here because of, I think it's Danny Lou, to kind of represent, not agree, but just kind of give a perspective on what the average American thinks. You know, when you were saying, why aren't there people out in the street? Why aren't there people doing this? Have you met the average American? Our literacy rate in this country is abysmal. Our political participation is abysmal. And I just wanted to offer some perspective about that, because I think when we talk about these things, Smitty, whether it's Venezuela, you know, Gaza, whatever, or Iran, what's going on, you know, Americans should definitely weigh in, because it's American administration that's proposing and doing these things. And then the American people who support or don't support. So just really quick, there is, so support overall, it depends on whether you're talking about the political class or whether you're talking about the average day, everyday American. The average everyday American, I'm sorry, is focused on skyrocketing childcare, the fact that they can't find jobs. They've been searching for jobs for months. They're really thinking more domestically. You saw that with Venezuela, like the search when Maduro was kidnapped or captured, or however you want to put it, on Saturday, dropped within 24 hours on Google search trends. That just shows you whether or not, you know, the average American is locked into this, and whether or not they're not going to be out here protesting when they can't afford food. But on the political class, Smitty, Republicans largely approve it, of course. Democrats overwhelmingly disapprove, and independents tend to lean toward disapproval. Everyone definitely does not want to see America get involved militarily. And then most average Americans, from polls that I see, think that what Trump is putting out on social media is just trumping Trump. So I just wanted to offer that perspective from the American side.
Okay. Thank you, Nichelle. Let me go to Covey. Covey fam, how are you? Hope you're doing well.
That is exactly what is happening currently. What is happening currently is America, the West, the UAE, and Israel are actively scrambling to redraw the lines in order to maximize their profit, basically to kind of maximize their profit harnessing. And that's what they're...
Hello?
Oh, we lost Covey.
Or is it just Smitty? Oh, can y'all hear me?
No, yeah, we lost
Hello?
you.
Okay, so yeah. So what I was doing was, this is a colonial grab, okay? This is literally what it is. I would implore everybody to read the national security strategy that the Trump administration released in November of 2025. Within this national security strategy, they do actively, on multiple instances, talk about harnessing the resources. On the last page, they literally even talk about the African continent, right? So this is what it is. And I think the issue that I have here is, right, a lot of times in these conversations, I see maybe non-Iranians telling Iranians not to have grievances with their government, or to have grievances, or to be patriotic or not patriotic, and they're not focusing on the real thing. One thing I will say is, I don't think any non-Iranian person should be telling, the same way I don't think any non-Venezuelan person should be telling the people how they should feel about their government, because I wouldn't want an outsider to tell me how I feel about their government, right? About my government, right? But I think, like, we need to refocus the conversation around what are all these countries attempting to do? What is America attempting to do? What is Israel attempting to do? What is the UAE attempting to do? Why are they all of a sudden, all of them, interested in this whole region? And that is because we find ourselves in the middle of an economic war between the East and the West, and they're all playing chess. That's what it is, Smitty. This is just a big game of chess, and we are the chess pieces. They're literally playing chess with us. So they get into these countries where there's real grievances, real traumas, real issues, and instead of just leaving people to solve these issues for themselves, they keep escalating the issue, and then they keep coming in pretending as if they're saving people, but they're not. They're just actively playing chess. And I think this is where we need to focus on the purpose and the reason as to why these countries are doing this.
Okay. Thank you, Cubby.
I2U2 group, okay? This is a coalition that was created between the UAE, Israel, America, and India, okay? It was created in September of 2023, and a lot of these decisions that these countries are making, it can go back to the I2U2 group, right? Number 2, the IMEC, the Indian Middle East European Economic Corridor. This is also supposed to go very close to Iran as well, right? Number 3, the Belt and Road Initiative. And if you have these 3 things as a beginner, as a starter, and you look at the map of where these economic corridors are supposed to go through or where they're supposed to cross, a lot of things will start making sense. And it will kind of illustrate that this geopolitics at play, and it's an economic war between the East and the West, and this whole region, whether it is Western Asia, whether it is East Africa, this whole region, literally, we're just the chess pieces.
Thank you, Cubby. Just
One more
facts
thing,
want to
this
come up
is
really
a
quick.
Shah, the Shah's wife. She's cheating on him, by the way, with a gym team.
Having Shah's son to come back and reign is the right move. I just want to remind everyone the reason why we are facing the suppression for the past 40, 50 years is 100% because of Israel and USA. We wouldn't be in this fucked up position if it wasn't for the involvement of USA and Israel. So for the people that, that are chanting, oh, they want Reza to come back and take office and be in power, it's like they have amnesia. They forgot the only reason that we're in the position we are now is because of the involvement of the West and Israel. And, if you guys go on my page, you'll see like the Reza kissing the wall and bowing down to Israel. We don't need a Zionist in there. We don't need to go from one hell to another hell and then re-experience the same thing of imperialism and them trying to steal our goods. And, freaking Bibi has been trying to get back in Iran for the past 30 years, saying that they have NUKEs for the past 20-30 years, and now that he has Trump in there and Reza to be his puppets, he's just like so excited. So if you guys are wondering why there is so much division amongst the Iranian community, is because of this. A lot of us don't want IRGC. I personally, when I was 19, I went back there for the summer and they freaking arrested me because I was, long story short, they arrested me. So I'm not a fan of IRGC. They can go to hell. But also I'm like, it's a very, very bad, weird position for a lot of us because we don't want the IRGC in there, but also we're very scared of what the alternative being provided is. So that's kind of a different perspective for everyone.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Just facts. All right. Let me, I'm going to end the live. I'll be right back to do a live on Keith